Hello, you join me from the comfort of my own living room this week. It is absolutely miserable outside, so I've not had a chance to get out with the camera. Rather than go a week without providing any content though, I thought I'd share what's in my camera bag. Let's get into it, shall we? The first up is the bag itself. This here is the third variant that I've had. Started out with this nice little Canon bag. Not much to shout home about. Got a little bit of space in here for a camera, couple of small lenses. Small bag, you kind of want to use it out for a bit of a day trip. Don't really use it anymore though. Not sure why, because if I pull some out and I'm not taking much with me, this is probably an ideal bag to be using. But when I felt this bag was too small, I upgraded to this Canon Basics one. Huge thing that you'd have seen me carrying around when I started on YouTube. Got some lovely dividers, lovely orange colour, lovely orange dividers. So I can fit in the camera, can fit in a nice telephoto lens, can fit in a third lens, got all my accessories, I should say. Lovely amount of space. It gave me I had some storage in the front, storage in the back. So if I was going away for a few days, I could even put spare clothes in the front and the back spaces. It really did save me on carry space. Unfortunately though, after the last couple of months, the straps have started wearing away. There's a lot of wear and tear. I've had this one for a few years now. So when my birthday came up back in October, I was like, right, there's one thing that people can get me. It is a new camera bag. So we're on to this third variant now. Like I say, I can't remember the brand. Let me look up the strap. It is the Tamron. I'll put the brand up on screen. As you can see, again, like the Amazon Basics, it's got a lovely amount of storage space. I can fit the camera in it. I can fit the telephoto lens in it. I can fit even a prime lens in it. And I've got various spots available for my accessories as and when I need them. The only thing it doesn't have is space for any spare clothes. So if I'm going away for a few days, I won't be able to fit them in here. But I've heard there's these things called suitcases. Funny that. Not a bad bag though, much lighter, much easier to carry around, especially when I'm walking quite a distance, when I'm looking out for various compositions. So the most important piece of kit in any camera bag is of course the camera and the lenses. First up, we've got the Canon 100D. You'll no doubt recognise it from a few videos that I've done in the past. Whenever I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic, I like to get out with this camera, still use it. It's still a lovely piece of kit. Bought this back in 2013. It was my first DSLR. I inherited a Canon lens, so of course I had to go out and buy a Canon camera. That's the main reason why, that's the first reason why I've got Canon equipment in the first place. And of course I ended up getting this because it was cheap, it was cheerful. Nice entry starting point into the realm of photography. And then in 2022, I decided I love photography. I've really got to make the next step. So we all know this one, the Canon RP. Brought this January 2022 and I've not regretted it since. I wanted to go full frame. I wanted something a lot newer, but also didn't want to spend a lot of money. So I went for the Canon RP. It was full frame, probably the cheapest full frame out on the market, and it kept me within the Canon family. I did think about Fujifilm, that would be a crop sensor. I thought about Sony, but the expense of having to give up the lenses that you already invested in, start again with a whole new camera system, yeah, not for me. So I went with the RP, I tested it out a few times and I've absolutely loved it since. Talking about the lenses, and on the 100D, we've got the EFS 18 to 55mm kit lens that came with this camera. Kit lenses on EF cameras, they're a bit rubbish. They're really not worth talking about, but it did its job. It still does its job whenever I want to get out and use it and go with something nice and cheap. And then on the Canon RP, we've got my favourite lens of the lot. Again, it's another kit lens. It's the RF 24 to 105mm. But kit lenses, the technology between RF glass, EF glass, is changed so much. And then over here on the left, your right, we've got the Canon 100 to 400mm RF. Not ideal for shooting 400mm in the woodland, as you know. And then we've got the EF 50mm lens you've probably not seen too much of yet. And it's got the Viltrox RF adapter. So this lens I can basically use on this camera, because that's what, of course, that's the mount it was made for. But with the adapter, I can also use it on the RF mirrorless system. I'm not going to talk too much about lenses today though. These three I do want to cover out on location, which will be appearing very soon. So accessories, the sort of equipment I could probably do without. It's the sort of gear that I leave at home if I'm not going out to the right location where I don't need it, just to lighten the bag a little bit. Going from right to left, which is probably the other way round for you, we've got here our polarizing filter. Barely use this, to be honest. Of course, it's great for getting rid of any reflections, getting rid of any harsh light. We've got my favourite filters of them all. We've got our 10-stop ND filter. We've got our 6-stop ND filter. Can't do without those, especially if I'm going out to the coast and I want to be doing some long exposures. Now the trick with any filters, especially with the screw-on ones, is don't just go out and purchase the filter that fits the lens, because what we've got here is we've got step-up rings. This will work, this particular one will work with my 50mm lens, which has a filter thread of 49mm. Now this step-up ring takes that thread size from 49mm up to 82mm, meaning, and it's the same for my 24 to 105mm, 100 to 400mm, because what it means is I can put these ND filters on any of those lenses and I don't have to go out and purchase multiples. It's just a nice way to save a bit of money where possible. Moving on, and we've got some spare batteries, unbranded, they're not Canon used, means they're a little bit unreliable at times. Bit annoying because quite often I'll be using these batteries and it won't tell me how much life is left in them. So all of a sudden I'll be taking an image and it'll come up saying, you need to recharge your battery. So why didn't you tell me a few minutes ago? They can't, they're a little bit rubbish. We've got here a slight smaller tripod center column attachment. It means if I want to get nice and low to the ground, it means that I can get as low as possible. And we've got a nice handheld tripod. Mainly use that if I'm walking and filming. But as you can see, it's a little bit broken at the moment, unfortunately. And then at the back here, we've got the Bonfoto tripod, my main one that I use when I'm out on location. That too is broken. Brilliant, I know. Unfortunately, these bottom legs, they can no longer extend, so I'm stuck with using the middle one and the top one, so I don't get the height that I used to be able to get. For some reason, hitting the tripod on the ground doesn't fix the issue, it only makes it worse. Made me feel better though. the last segment, and that is the gear I use when I'm filming. When I'm out on location, there's 3 devices that I can use to record my YouTube videos. The first of which is my Huawei P30 smartphone. That's what I'm currently using to put together this little video. I've also got my Canon RP, which I should use more often, really, to put together videos, because of course it's the best quality. However, at the same time, it's quite difficult for me because as a photographer, I'm trying to talk you through a scene. I need my camera in my hands rather than having it on the tripod recording me talking, which is why when I've been out with the 100D, that allows me to use this as my filming camera. Now, the main piece of the kit that I use to put the videos together is this little device, the Akaso V50X. It's a nice budget, smart action camera, kind of like your GoPro, your DJI range. But as you've seen from recent videos, it is absolutely naff in low light conditions. It really is terrible. Hence why I'll try and use my phone or the RP when I'm out in those low light conditions these days. We've of course got a spare battery for the Akaso. It is a branded one, so I don't have to worry about terrible charging times. I've then got a spare phone mount for the tripod. And finally, I've got my microphone, my audio device. I'm currently recording on the Rode Wireless Go 2. I might be changing my audio equipment quite soon. We'll have to watch this space. But like I say, we get, of course, the transmitter. We get the receiver, and it all comes in this nice little bag for me to keep everything in. Although I think I'm surprised I've not lost it all as yet. And then of course we've got another tripod, another phone mount that I have with me, and of course that's all being used at the moment to record this little video. So there you have it, all the gear I can take with me when I go out for one single YouTube video. Not that I take it all on one trip. See you next week. Preferably outside. What a load of